Anthony Stern says he is a cross between an artist and a designer because he creates his work but also makes it happen. His pieces are sold by Neiman Marcus, Liberty and Takashi Maya, and some of his work has been commissioned by hotels such as Marriott and Sandy Lane in Barbados and the Hy-Vee and the Le Capes restaurants in London. He can only produce a few of these beautiful works of art, but says he wants to reach a broader audience. Here, he discusses his ambitions for the future and the challenges of finding the right manufacturing partner to help him achieve them.
Well, an artist is to me somebody who constantly inspired by internal motivation, who works from a source of dreams and inspiration, whereas a designer may be somebody who responds to the outside world in a very clinical, very mathematical, very structured way. So I do like to think of myself as someone who's free enough to be able to go in any direction they want to. That's why I chose glass as a means of expression. It's a shame to see design ideas and techniques particularly fall by the wayside just because there's no instant demand for them now. So whilst I'd like to carry on myself making my own work, I also want to capitalize on the investment I've made in techniques which are peculiar to my own business. The request was to make a lamp base which has black stripes and a very nice brown purple background color shaped like a great big bottle. And we need to make these in quantities, and we still do need to make these in quantities because there's a big demand for it in the States. Well, the good side was we found a very good factory that was able to make the shapes very successfully. We weren't able to duplicate the original color, which is this marvelous purple brown color. The black stripes were okay, we could do that. And then there was the actual quality of the material as well. The glass that they were using in Poland, where we went first of all, was far too light, so you lift the object up and it had an unconvincing feel about it. I think partner is a good ingredient in this system, because very often designers like myself don't really understand the sequence of events that is required to get something made. If somebody comes from a Far Eastern country, why do they need to respect your integrity and your copyright in your designs? Because after all, once you've got a drawing and a photograph or two, there's no real need for for me anymore. And that can only be resolved by the fact that you'd have a big brother looking after you. In one case, it was Debenhams who proposed to take me on as a brand and market my work. That system would work very well. Producer, the actual manufacturer in the Far East, indebted to, for example, Debenhams for paying all their bills and guaranteeing them a certain minimum number of quantities for production. So they would feel secure in the knowledge that they had their financial side taken care of. Li and Feng came to visit my studio and they were very enthusiastic about everything. One of the things they liked particularly was these panoramic images which I make based on my landscape and seascape vases. We use a 360-degree panoramic camera to photograph all the way around the bowl. So it comes out looking like a landscape painting, really. That painting is then printed onto a sheet of glass, what Li and Feng thought of as a very successful product for their wall art range. Well, obviously, I'd like to continue making my own glass myself in my own workshop, because that's the great pleasure of doing it. If I delegate all my work to a factory or else another studio, it doesn't have the same kind of fun. I want to avoid becoming too successful that I have to delegate. So that's one aspect of how I want to see myself going forward.